You have your own signature guitar. You can talk about this
Sure.
now. I think it's a huge milestone for any player.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did that relationship with the brand first come about?
Oh, congratulations on your guitar as well.
Okay, thank you
very
very
nice.
much. And it's similar like this one.
Yeah.
It's like a hamburger and two
Yeah,
singles.
yours is very nice. Yeah, I started working with Schecter in 2014. I was playing another brand in this shape, and I was looking to, because I was so new. I only had a little bit of experience, a couple albums. I was looking for an opportunity to maybe grow with a company. You know, it's so important as a young instrumental guitar player with no money to try and find a brand to work with, maybe for some support, not necessarily as a trophy or anything, but just to find people that are maybe going to understand what you're doing and they get it. And at the time, if I may say this, it was 2014, in the instrumental guitar, the sort of more modern scene, there was nobody playing single coil pickups. There was nobody playing an S-type guitar that I can think of, at least that I was aware of as a younger guy. Everybody was playing a John Petrucci guitar or an Axe, you know, they had a very specific sound.
Okay.
And I was sort of doing the opposite of that, not by choice. It was just, that's all I knew. I was more the vintage guy in a modern world. And at the time, Schecter was kind of known for, I guess, the bread and butter of Schecter's, there was more sort of extreme shapes, the Damians and the Omens and the
Avengers.
yeah, all that stuff, the more heavy kind of stuff. Yeah. And that's not really the music I listened to or played, so I just didn't think Schecter was maybe a company that I would use or that was for me. However, there were two artists at Schecter that were doing very well, and they were sort of the poster boys, I suppose. One was Keith Merrow and Jeff Loomis, who's no longer obviously a Schecter artist, but they were taking note of what I was doing, and they asked me, "Who are you working with? Do you have any? Are you endorsed by anybody?" I said, "No." So they put me in touch with Schecter, and at the time, Schecter was sort of not rebooting, but trying to rebuild up their custom shop, and the custom shop was more of the traditional shapes that Schecter, when they were, you know, Sunset Custom back in the 70s, doing more like this type of stuff.
Okay.
So they were kind of rebooting that. And I just kind of came along at the right time. You know, guy playing the S-type with these vintage, you know, single coil pickups, and there's really nothing too technologically savvy going on here. It's a piece of wood, some wires, and some metal. So I came along at the right time, and we did a clinic tour together. The first clinic tour I ever did was we went to China, and I had a guitar from Schecter that was, I still have it. It was just their stock sort of traditional, they call it.
Made in China?
No, it was a custom shop, USA,
okay.
yeah. So because that's what I was playing before. I was playing I had saved up a lot of money from teaching and playing shows, and I bought a really nice custom shop guitar from a different company. It was very, very nice. And I was afraid that no other company would be able to match it because it was so nice. It was my dream guitar. And then the guitar Schecter sent me, I left in the box for about a month, and I was too afraid to open it. I was like, oh no, this might not be what I expect it to be. And I think maybe not a month, but a couple weeks. And finally one of the guys at Schecter said, okay, that's cool, but either try it and see what you think, or just send it back. So I tried it, and it was definitely the best guitar I'd ever played. It made my guitar feel like a toy. It was so beautiful. The fretwork, the neck, the weight of the guitar. It was crazy. It was crazy. So we went on tour, and where I live, Canada is a kind of a country of extreme weather. It gets either so cold, -20, -30, whatever Celsius, or it'll get up to minus.
It's like Boston, no?
Yeah, the East Coast kind of, that's
It's crazy.
and the humidity too, right?
Yeah.
All that stuff. So yeah, very similar to
The
Boston.
sun is very hot.
Very hot, get up to 35, 40 degrees sometimes. Yeah. So, and that's terrible for guitars. But I remember we went to China. It was a cold climate in Canada. We went to China. It was very hot. We went to Thailand. Where did we go? China, Taiwan, maybe another place. Anyway, Southeast Asia somewhere. It was so hot. No string breaks, no tuning issues, no corrosive string. It was perfect. I couldn't believe it. So from that, they were trusting enough. Ryan, again, who's in the room with us, was trusting enough. He kind of helped me get to a point where I had the first signature model out of the custom shop. I think it was me and maybe Michael Anthony from Van Halen, the first two. I could be wrong about that. To double check that. I know I'm the first Canadian with this. I know that for a fact. You can say that. And it started off with just this essentially replica of what I was playing, the silver one. And it went okay at first. It was okay. But then we did a model that it was this kind of green one with the dark neck, and I remember I posted it online many years ago, and it kind of exploded. It was, whoa, what's this? So then we released the Diamond Series version, and then we were going. And then it really, and now it's been 11 years.
So how many levels of guitar? Like 3 levels?
There's with this one, there's 3 now. So there was the custom shop, which is sort of your USA made, handmade guitar, CNC. But then one guy's doing all the fretwork, one guy's doing all the wiring, and so it's all handmade. Then you have the Diamond Series one, which is the entry level one, which is made in Indonesia. There's some hand detail on it, and it's all QC'd at Schecter, so it's still getting handmade love. And then this one's sort of the middle of the road. It has the USA pickups, the stainless steel frets. It's got the Wenge neck with the ebony fingerboard. So there's three levels now. If you're interested at any of the price points, and it was very important to keep the price down as much as possible because I really want a guitar that everybody can afford. There's nothing too crazy going on here. It's just well made, consistent.
This is Indonesian, you said.
This one's, this is a hybrid of the,
okay.
Exactly, yeah.
How
And that's the
much
10th
is
anniversary.
in Brazil?
In Brazil, it's something between like 12 and 14K.
Okay, reais in reais.
Yeah.
And then would you say the lower one was?
The lower one is something between 10 and 12.
Okay, so it starts, I don't know the pricing, but it starts down.
So you are playing with this one here in Brazil?
So this one, so here's what's really cool too, is because of the distribution of the guitar and just the kind of sheer movement now of this guitar, it's all over the world. You can kind of get it anywhere. I just picked this off the wall.
Oh.
So this is just one you can buy. And that's really important to me too. I always remember hearing these rumors of some of the big guitar players back in the day. They'd have an Ibanez, but it was built by somebody else. If you had an Ibanez signature guitar, you'd sell that, but then you had your own personal one that was made by a master builder. You put the Ibanez logo. Unfortunately, that was happening a lot.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. Oh, big time. Oh yeah. You'd be surprised that I'll tell you some names, and I didn't want that because that's lying. That's cheating. And if I'm gonna back this, I should be able to pick one off the wall, and this is the same one I have. So that's what that is, which is a cool thing to be able to do and a rare thing to be able to do. So now when I leave the house, I can just take a suitcase or a backpack and I get the guitar.
So what about like a regulation, something that you need to do to fit your personal way of playing? Nothing. You just pick from the...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. As long as it's maybe set up somewhat, maybe you can do a quick setup if you need it, if the action's too high or if the action's too low, or change the strings. But what did we do to this? We didn't do anything to this.
We just, have stepped down.
Yeah,
it was, sorry. I personally did that.
Oh yeah, you did too.
Yeah, it's the only thing I did,
Yeah, because we got it out of the box, basically. So it was a fresh off the press.
Yeah.
Okay. So I saw you using quad cortex on stage.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So you have simplifier setup of the ears.
Okay, yeah. So I'll talk about that a little bit. So the quad cortex, I use that I have been using that just for guitar clinics because of the simplicity. Again, I'm traveling very light. I don't have a tech. We don't have, and you know, from store to store, clinic to clinic, you could be playing in a theater and then you could be playing in a pizza place, or you could be like, it could be whatever. So you need to be adaptable, and sometimes you can't get the amp you want. You know, I'm working with Bad Cat. Do you know that brand, Bad Cat?
I know that.
Yeah. So we're gonna design an amp together, which is really cool. But right now, and hopefully, kind of wrapping it up, having the Quad Cortex, I go direct with it. We've been doing direct the last couple nights. It's just very, very easy for these. When I'm with the band and I have an opportunity to play what I want, I use amplifiers just because I am one of those guys. I don't think it's even close tonally. I think ultimately the analog sound for my ears is the sweet spot. That's what I grew up with listening to. Even if it's not always perfect, I like the way it feels. I like making mistakes on an amp more than I like making mistakes on the quad cords.
Okay.
So yeah, in a perfect world, it would be amplifier, of course. But when these clinic tours are happening, it's not up. It's oftentimes it's completely out of my control, and we might be showing up 10 minutes before I have to be on stage, or 5 hours before. So it's so mercurial. It's moving all the time, you know. And yeah, over the years it's changed. Different brands and stuff.
What about Macedon? What do you use if you play on stage?
I use. I'm going to be using the Bad Cat stuff. I have been using a Friedman. The Friedman. What was I using? I bought 2 BE 100 Deluxe amps, and those live in a rig. So it's really cool. We have two separate rigs. We have a U.S. rig that stays in Atlanta, and we have a European rig that lives in London. So so there's all my guitars. I have 7 guitars in each rig.
Whoa,
And
7.
Yeah, we do 2 backups, or so we do C standard or D standard, and I need a backup, drop C backup, drop A backup, and then I have one I mess around with.
7 in Europe, 7 in the United States.
Yeah. And then most of them are not all of them, but most of them are my personal guitars I just took and left, just because they're broken in the way I want. And then I use just a Boss tune, the TU3. The Wazacraft, the really cool, the black one. Tuning pedal, and I plug usually straight into the amp, no delay. I was using a delay. I was using an SD1, the Boss SD1, which I love that pedal, but I was finding, it depends on where we're playing. It might suck the tone out a little bit. No reverb, no delay, just because again it sometimes gets in the way. And I use the boost pedal for the solos. Just the two, channel 1 and channel 2 for the solos. And that's really all I need, But because I have a guitar tech, it's cool to try new stuff and experiment a little bit. I'm gonna get the Hot Cat 50. I'm basically gonna develop an amp with Bad Cat that can sort of handle that replacement. Instead of the Friedman, I want to use that. It's gonna be more of a 100-watt kind of thing. I use 0.8 picks. From Dunlop. I use NYXL strings. What else do I do? It's all wireless. 64 audio in-ears. Yeah.
So
it's pretty simple.
You all the time with ears.
Yeah, it's all ears. Yeah.
That's in Brazil we are wrestling about this, like playing with phone or without.
Yeah.
So for you that's okay playing with phone. Do you like that?
Yeah, I prefer it.
You prefer?
I prefer it much. It's so much safer on your ears too. I don't want any damage. I talked to some of my older friends, musicians who are in their maybe late 50s or 60s, and they all have tinnitus.
Yeah.
Which I don't want that. No guitar tone is worth tinnitus. I don't care what you say.
Yeah.
You don't want to go to bed at night. I'm not doing that.
We talk about this in Brazil, like using or not, but we don't talk about keeping your ears.
The health.
We talk about I like it.
Doesn't matter what you like. And okay, I get it if you're playing maybe through a combo amp and you can control it a little bit more. But when you're playing even like a club and you got a Marshall on, it's so loud. And then the worst culprit is the hi-hat or the cymbals, because it just destroy. You don't even realize your ears are dying every night. They're just dying every single night. You go back in the bus and all you can hear is that. You're like, what the?
Yeah.
So I put the inners in. I get a nice mix. I usually have myself mixed a little hotter. I'm in the center. I'll have the guitar over here, the other guitar, the drums, perfect little mix. It's maybe sometimes I'll use the word antiseptic, if you know what I mean. It's very clean, almost too clean, but you get used to it. And you blend. We have a mic that you blend a bit of the crowd noise in, so you get a little bit more room, you know.
Okay.
But you know, for years I played with the wedges, and I just hated it so much because you're so loud, and everybody's at the volume war on stage at a point. Everyone's just trying to get louder and louder and louder, and the drummer's hitting harder, then you got to turn up, and then the mixing guy doesn't know what the hell to do, you know. So I gladly will stay on ears, yeah, for health, for health reasons.
So do you think that the tone comes more from the hand, maybe your mentality, than from the equipment? What do you think about that?
Definitely, yeah. It's absolutely. There's no question. This is your musicianship. It's not this. Everything's here, and you know you're a great player, and
thank
you
you.
know that it's in the hands. We all know that. I could give you this guitar, or I could give you this guitar, and you wouldn't sound like me.
Yeah.
Remember the guy that went up first last night? He was playing one of my guitars. He sounded like a 70s guy all of a sudden. So it just has your touch and the pressure you put down on string and your grip. And I remember when I developed my hands, like I literally remember when it happened. I'd been playing for so long, and I was probably in my mid-20s, maybe late 20s, and finally, finally they woke up. Like the grip and the control. The journey of this instrument is so brutal sometimes. It's so hard. It's so unforgiving. It's so cruel, because you could be good on Monday and terrible on Tuesday. But you don't realize that you're developing this a brain in here. It's like this. It knows it. And the technique and all that stuff, it's no longer in the front of the shop. It's in the back of the shop. You can't be thinking about it, and you just have to trust it. I'm sure you remember when your hands got strong,
sure.
right? It takes a long time. It takes a long time, but when you get it, it's you, and that's why all these guitar players sound like themselves, because they at a certain point they got their hands, and it really got their hands. And I know there's people that might argue with that, and that's not. The tone's not. It could be in the gear. It's not. It's just not. You could. The way I use the volume knob, the way I use the pickup selector, it's all in here, you know. The way your hands mix with your ear is the identity, I think.